Well, it was not all Brexit bickering and hateful hangovers on show today in Parliament. The recommendation was made to David Cameron. Now that you're out of a job here, the folks on the other side of the big pond, we hear they're looking for a new boss. Well, today's session was perhaps some of the best Parliament theater that we have seen in recent memory. If you missed it, now's your chance to sit back and watch the show.
Order. Questions to the Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, this morning I had meetings with ministerial colleagues and others. Other than one meeting this afternoon with Her Majesty the Queen, the diary for the rest of my day is remarkably light.
And I'm told that there are lots of leadership roles out there at the moment. There's the England football team. There's Top Gear. There's even across the big pond a role that needs filling.
Jeremy Corbyn.
Mr. Speaker, it's only right that after 6 years as Prime Minister, we thank the Right Honourable Member for Witney for his service. I've often disagreed with him, but there are some of his achievements I really want to welcome and pay recognition to today. One is helping to secure the release of Shakar Amir from Guantanamo Bay and legislating to achieve equal marriage within our society. Talking of the economy, the Home Secretary again, she said, many people find themselves exploited by unscrupulous bosses. I can't imagine who she's referring to.
Let me say something to him about the democratic process of leadership elections, because I did say a couple of weeks ago that I thought it was, I have to say, I'm beginning to admire his tenacity. He is reminding me of the Black Knight in Monty Python's Holy Grail. He's been kicked so many times, but he says, keep going, it's only a flesh wound. I admire that.
Mr. Speaker, it is one that worries a very large number of people, and it would be good if in his last question time the Prime Minister could at least offer some assurance to those people.
Let me reassure Nina, there's absolutely no chance of that happening to someone in those circumstances. We are working hard to do what we want, which is to give a guarantee to EU citizens that they will have their rights respected, all those who have come to this country. The only circumstance I could ever envisage a future government trying to undo that guarantee would be if British citizens in other European countries didn't have their rights respected. So I think it is important to have reciprocity.
Could I just put it on record and wish him well as he leaves this office, and also to wish his family well, Samantha and their children, because I think we should all recognise that whilst many of us really do enjoy our jobs and our political life, it's the loved ones nearest to us and our families that actually make enormous sacrifices that we may be able to do this. So I'd also like him to pass on my thanks to his mum for her advice about ties and suits and songs. It's extremely kind of her, and I'd be grateful if he'd pass that on to her personally.
I will certainly send his good wishes back to my mother. He seems to have taken her advice and is looking absolutely splendid today. But it gives me the opportunity to put a rumour to rest as well, even more serious than the Strictly Come Dancing one. And he'll appreciate this because El Gato, his cat, is particularly famous. And the rumour that somehow I don't love Larry. I do. And I have photographic evidence to prove it. Sadly, I can't take Larry with me. He belongs to the house and the staff love him very much, as do I.
Mr. Peter Lilly.
Is my right honourable friend... The Prime Minister's legacy will undoubtedly be that he has taken us to the brink of being taken out of the European Union, so we will not be applauding his premiership on these ventures. What advice has he given his successor on taking Scotland out of the EU against the wishes of Scottish voters?
Well, first of all, let me join the right honourable gentleman. In terms of what he says about Scotland and the United Kingdom and Europe, my advice to my successor, who is a brilliant negotiator, is that we should try to be as close to the European Union as we can be for the benefits of trade, of cooperation and of security. The channel will not get any wider once we leave the European Union, and that is the relationship we should seek. That will be good for the United Kingdom and good for Scotland. Yes, we can be pretty tough and test and challenge our leaders, perhaps more than some other countries, but that is something we should be proud of, and we should keep at it. And I hope you will all keep at it, and I will will you on as you do. The last thing I'd say is that you can achieve a lot of things in politics. You can get a lot of things done, and that in the end, the public service, the national interest, that is what it's all about. Nothing is really impossible if you put your mind to it. After all, as I once said, I was the future once.
All right, we're almost finished with the day, but you can always join the conversation on Twitter. You can either write to DW News or to me, Brent Goff TV. Don't forget to use that hashtag, the day. And remember, whatever happens between now and then, tomorrow is another day. We'll see you then, everybody.